There's a Thai restaurant in Wheaton called Ruan Thai. It's small, really small, limited seating, no frills. You might walk past it and not think twice. But their beef masamung curry, it is to die for. It tastes like a warm hug, like someone's grandmother made it just for you. And their duck, well, it's some of the best you'll find in Montgomery County, Maryland. I bring up Ruan Thai because it's basically Wheaton in restaurant form. It doesn't look like much from the outside. It's not trying to impress you, but once you're in, you don't want to leave. And full disclosure, Wheaton is my favorite area in Montgomery County, Maryland. I live about 5 minutes from downtown. This isn't me researching a neighborhood I visited once. This is me telling you about my backyard. With that said, I'm gonna be honest with you about the parts that aren't great too. So let me give you the real pros and the real cons of living in Wheaton, Maryland. Starting with the cons, because if you can live with them, the rest is going to surprise you. Con number 1, you're gonna need a car for almost everything. And let me be upfront about this because this is a thing that catches people off guard. Unless you're living right off Amherst Avenue or Reedy Drive area, like in the townhome communities near the Metro or the Plaza, Wheaton is car dependent, especially if you're in one of the single family home neighborhoods. There are parks nearby, great parks by the way, but you're driving to them. Wheaton Regional Park and Brookside Gardens, they are just a short drive from downtown Wheaton, but they're not a walk out your front door type of situation. Groceries, drive in. Your kids' school, probably drive in. You want to grab dinner, drive in, or hop in on the Metro or the bus. Now, if you're in one of the townhome communities near the Wheaton Metro station, it's a completely different story. You're walking to restaurants, shopping, the Metro, everything is right there. But if you're in the single family home pocket, which is where most families end up, just know you're planning your life around your car. And that's not unique to Wheaton. It's a lot of the suburbs, but it's worth knowing before you move because some people come here thinking the Metro station means the whole area is walkable. It's not. It depends entirely on which street you're on. Con number 2, the first impression doesn't do it justice, and that's a real problem. I'll be honest, if you drive through parts of Wheaton for the first time, especially along University Boulevard, you might wonder what the hype is about. There are older strip malls, some dated storefronts, and a general look that feels rough around the edges compared to Bethesda or downtown Silver Spring. In that first impression, it turns a lot of people away. And I understand why. We're visual. We make snap judgments. And Wheaton doesn't photograph like Pike and Rose or downtown Bethesda. Now, there is a revitalization plan in the works, the Wheaton Gateway Project, which is bringing new mixed income housing, a community park, commercial space. But I'll keep it real with you. Right now, it's mostly talk. Us residents are hopeful, a little worried about the increased traffic, honestly, but nothing has physically changed on the ground yet. So you're buying into the potential, not the finished product. For some people, that's exciting. You're getting in before the transformation. And for others, that's a risk. You should know which one you are. Con number 3, Wheaton has a crime reputation. But the reality is more nuanced than people think. Let me address this head on because it's probably going to be the first thing someone brings up in the comments. Yes, Wheaton has a reputation for being higher crime than other parts of Montgomery County. And if you just glance at a headline or a crime map, it can look concerning. But when you actually dig into the data, the story is very different from the reputation. First, Wheaton's violent crime rate is actually below the national average. Most of the crime that drive the numbers up is property crime, car break-in, package theft, that kind of thing. The stuff that honestly you're dealing with in almost every suburb in America right now. Lock your car, don't leave valuables visible, get a Ring doorbell. It's the same playbook everywhere. Second, and this is the part most people don't know, crime in Wheaton dropped 27% overall in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the year before. Assaults, they were down 22%. Robbery, down 36%. Motor vehicle theft dropped 60%. The 4th District Police Commander specifically called out the improvement. That's a significant trend moving in the right direction. Is Wheaton as quiet as Potomac or Olney? No. But the gap between reputation and reality, it is wider here than almost anywhere else in the county. So don't take someone else's outdated impression as fact. Look at the actual numbers. They might surprise you. Con number 4, if you want trendy nightlife, you're driving to Silver Spring. Wheaton does not have rooftop bars. It does not have craft cocktail spots. It does not have nightclubs. If that's your scene, downtown Silver Spring is about 10 minutes south, and Bethesda is a quick metro right away. What Wheaton does have is incredible food. And I'm gonna get into that. But it's the hole in the wall, family owned, cash register on the counter type of incredible. Not $18 cocktail with a a smoke bubble. Incredible. Know the difference going in. So Wheaton's not going to win any beauty contest right now. You need a car for most things. The nightlife is somewhere else. But the people who live here don't just tolerate Wheaton. They defend it. And once I tell you why, you're gonna get it. Pro number one, the food scene is the best kept secret in the entire DMV. I already told you about Ruan Thai. The beef masamun, the duck, the curries. It is special. But Ruan Thai, it's just one spot on a strip that goes deep. Let me put you onto Mi La K, the best pho and banh mi you will ever have in this area. I'm not saying good for the suburbs. I'm saying if you've had pho all over the DMV, this is the one. Go, you will thank me. And those are just 2 restaurants. Within a short drive, you've got Salvadorian, Ethiopian, Peruvian, Korean, Jamaican, and none of it is expensive. You're eating a full, incredible meal for $12 to $18. Do that in Bethesda and let me know how your wallet feels. The reason the food is this good is the people. Wheaton is the most diverse part of Montgomery County by far. This isn't a diversity and inclusion talking point. This is literally what it looks like when people from all over the world live in the same neighborhood. And they open restaurants that serve what they actually grew up eating. The community even has the Taste of Wheaton Festival to celebrate it, and that happens in the summer. You cannot Google this experience. You have to go and sit in these restaurants and eat the food and talk to the owners. They are so friendly. And just watch the family who owns it serve you like you're a guest in their home. That's Wheaton. Pro number 2. Everything you need is right there, like actually everything. One of the things I love about living near downtown Wheaton is that I almost never have to leave. And I don't mean that in a sad way. I mean it in everything is within a 5-minute drive type of way. Costco is right there. You need a Target run, it's right there. And yes, I heard we're supposed to be boycotting right now, but I've never really been consistent with those things. Wheaton Plaza, some people call it Westfield Wheaton, some people call it Wheaton Mall. It's all the same place. That's right there. Giant grocery store right there. A movie theater when you want to catch something on a random Tuesday, it's right there. Restaurants we already talked about, it's all right there. Silver Spring is technically its own area, but it's huge and it bleeds into Wheaton. So you've got downtown Silver Spring restaurants and bars just 10 minutes south, plus all of Wheaton's own offerings. Between the two, there's genuinely nothing you need to leave for on a regular basis. It sounds simple, but when you actually live it day to day, the convenience factor is massive. You're not driving 20 minutes to go to Costco. You're not planning a whole trip to go to Target. It's all just there. Pro number 3. Brookside Gardens is a cheat code, but you need to know the tricks. Everyone talks about Wheaton Regional Park. 538 acres, 11 miles of trails, the adventure playground, the miniature train, the carousel from 1915. All of that is real, and all of it is free. Let me tell you about Brookside Gardens specifically, because I go there and I have opinions. I love it in the spring, especially. Late March into April, the cherry blossoms come out and it's stunning. Then the tulip starts to peak around mid-April into early May. There's a kids section that's genuinely fun, not just a token add-on. And every single time I visit, I am tempted to have a picnic, but you can't. No food or picnicking allowed. And I'm sure it's to keep the gardens clean. And honestly, I respect it because it looks immaculate every single time. Also, no pets allowed inside the gardens. Dogs are welcome in the rest of Wheaton Regional Park, but not Brookside Gardens specifically. And here's something I learned the hard way. If you want professional photos taken there, you need a photo permit. So don't show up with a photographer and a ring light and think that you're just gonna wing it. Ask me how I know. The best part, it's completely free. My tip, go early mornings, try to beat the crowd, especially on weekends in spring when the cherry blossoms are at peak. It gets packed by 11 a.m., but earlier in the morning, it's just you and the gardens. It's one of the most peaceful places in the county and extremely underrated. Pro number 4, and this is the gem. Your money actually goes somewhere here. Wheaton is one of the most affordable neighborhoods in Montgomery County. The median home price is around $530,000 to $548,000 right now. Compare that to Montgomery County median price of $600,000 or Bethesda at $800,000 $200,000 plus, or Potomac, where you're looking at well over $1 million. But here's what I want to highlight specifically. The brownstones at Wheaton Metro, this is an EYA built community. These are 75-row homes designed with the kind of sophistication that you'll expect from New York brownstone architecture. 4 levels, usually hardwood floors throughout, main level arched cathedral style window panes that gets in gorgeous natural light. I'm talking bright sun-filled homes. So you're looking at about $650 to $660 for a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath townhome with a garage. In Bethesda, that same money, it might get you a 2-bedroom condo. So here you're getting 4 levels of thoughtfully designed living space in a beautiful community. And the location, you're walking distance Wheaton Metro Station, restaurants, shopping, everything that thrives in downtown Wheaton. This is that walkable pocket I mentioned earlier, where you actually don't need your car for daily life. This is the kind of housing that surprises people because they don't associate Wheaton with architecturally thoughtful modern construction. But it's here. And for the rest of the housing stock, the classic ranches, Cape Cods, split levels from the 1950s to the 70s. You're getting a real house with a real yard in a real neighborhood for $100,000 to $200,000 less than a comparable home in Bethesda or other parts of Silver Spring. Homes in Wheaton are selling in about 2 to 3 weeks. So this is not a soft market. Pro number 5. So the diversity isn't a statistic. It's what your Tuesday look like. I keep coming back to this because it's honestly the thing that makes Wheaton special. Over 30% of Wheaton residents are Hispanic or Latino. About 15% are Black. About 13% are Asian. 41% of the population speaks Spanish. And it all just works. It's not a melting pot in the way politicians describe it. It's more like you look outside and you see kids of every color riding their bikes through the neighborhood. And it's just another Tuesday. That's not something you can manufacture. It's not something a developer puts in a brochure. It's just what happens when a community is genuinely affordable enough and welcoming enough that people from everywhere end up choosing the same place. For families especially, raising your kids in an environment where differences is just normal, where their friend group naturally looks like the world, that's valuable in a way that doesn't show up in a home appraisal, but it shows up in who your kids become. Pro number 6, you're buying before everyone else catches on. Here's my last point, and it's maybe the most important one. Wheaton right now reminds me of what Silver Spring felt like 15 years ago, before the development really hit, before the prices caught up, before everyone was talking about it. The metro access is already there. The park system is already there. The food scene is already there. The diversity is already there. The bones are incredible. What's coming? The Wheaton Gateway development, the continued revitalization around the metro station, that's the layer on top. People who bought in Silver Spring before the transformation, they are sitting on incredible equity right now. And I'm not saying Wheaton is guaranteed to follow the same path, but the ingredients are similar. And the entry price today is significantly lower than the rest of the county. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that one. Wheaton is not for everyone. If you need polish, if you need walkability from a single family home, if you need nightlife at your doorstep, this isn't the move. But if you want to live somewhere real, where the food is made by families, where your kids ride bikes with kids who look nothing like them and nobody thinks twice, where you can walk through world-class gardens for free on a random Saturday morning, and where your money actually gets you something, Wheaton deserves a real look, not a drive-through, a real look. And if you want to talk about it, whether Wheaton makes sense for you, which pockets to look at, what's coming with the revitalization, I'm around. The link is in the description. And if you want the bigger picture on the whole county, look out for my pros and cons on living in Montgomery County, Maryland, coming up next week. Catch you in the next one. Bye.